Hello, family, and welcome to Do Everything Wrong, or Do, where we do everything wrong, and we lose all our brain cells in the process. I'm Finyapu, your host, and welcome to this first episode of this podcast. I'm joined today by Dontask, another member of the family.
This is so awkward.
Yeah, and hey, it's okay. This is all done in one take, as per tradition here on this podcast. And tradition that's one episode in strength at the current moment. And there might be moments of silence, and hopefully there isn't, and we can keep rambling, and we can keep rolling with this, and hopefully not make too big of a fool of ourselves in the process.
Not too big, not too big.
Well, Dontask, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit if you want to? Just a brief little introduction about yourself if you want, and we can get this ball rolling.
Okay, wow, okay, I'm Dontask. Hi, family creator on the family channel. I play Splatoon 90% of the time. I don't, not that much to know about me, really.
And that's okay. Well, with the whole Splatoon thing, I know we've dropped down. Nintendo a while back announced Splatoon 3. What are your thoughts about Splatoon 3 coming out here pretty soon?
Okay. Here's my thing. I know it just came out like recently, or the trailer, and man, there's too much.
Too much.
Too much.
I know for me, I'm excited for what seems to be sort of a revamped battle system. I've never played Splatoon personally.
I've done research on it over the past few months, and what I've noticed is the next game tends to be on the last Splatfest of the previous game. For example, Splatoon 1 had the final Splatfest between the two idols of the game, and then in the next game, the loser of that Splatfest kind of went missing, which kind of explained the whole story mode of Splatoon 2, and the final Splatfest of Splatoon 2, Chaos and Order, Chaos 1, which kind of explains the setting of Splatoon 3. Okay. And I could kind of see a storyline maybe bringing Order to Chaos possibly.
I could see that happening, and like I said, I haven't really been involved with Splatoon all that much, so this is coming from a complete outsider's perspective. Complete disclaimer, putting that out there, but I could totally see something like that happening. I could see it almost it gave me a Fallout vibes, to be honest. When I saw the trailer, it gave me complete Fallout vibes. But I could see it being sort of a chaos thing, especially with some sort of battle royale coming involved with that. Maybe that's gonna have some sort of involvement in the main storyline. I could also see the depth of the DLC being implemented a little bit more and a little bit better into the base story mode as well. I hear that. What are you?
I'm wait. I was thinking of saying something, but then I lost it. I'm like, no, come back.
Come back. We need you to come back.
Come back. I could kind of see it represented in the actual plaza of the third game by what we've seen, and the beginner clothing also. In the first few seconds of the trailer, I didn't actually think it was Splatoon 3. I was like, what is this? Until I actually noticed the character.
Well, what did you think it was then in that case? Did you think it was new DLC? Did you think it was something else? What?
I didn't think it was related to Splatoon at all at first. I think it was like some 3D cartoon game in a way, judging by the sky, like the colors, like it's vibrant.
Okay,
Like,
like an offshoot IP type thing.
uh, yeah, I think so.
Okay, like I could see it being like I could see it being almost like a Warriors thing where it's like separate from the Legend of Zelda, but actually like in universe, but not a base game. If that makes any sense.
See, what I noticed in the third game is that like okay, so um as some of you know, like in the second game, like in order to like become an Octoling, you have to complete the DLC story mode. But in Splatoon 3, it kind of shows that maybe you don't have to complete like anything, like it's just automatically given to you, just like the Inkling in the first two games.
I could
So like I kind of noticed that.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I could still see like you go through and you unlock certain characteristics as you progress through the game. You know, maybe different colors or um, potentially like different outfits, but I like basic hairstyles, eye colors and things like that. I don't think that would change character development wise
Like,
anyway.
well, I've also noticed like the change in hair. Like some of the hairstyles seem to have like a dried up like kind of look, since you know it's kind of like in a desert themed ish.
True.
Like yeah, so it kind of has to. So it kind of. Oh my god, it kind of relates to chaos in a way, but like
That
maybe it could be like a lack of something, which could explain the hair a little bit,
right.
or just the climate in general.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably going to get Splatoon 3 no matter what happens when it comes out. But part of me feels like I kind of have to get 1 and 2 now in order to like
Like,
fully
okay,
understand.
okay. Okay. If you plan, look, okay. Splatoon 1 is kind of like basic in a way, like you don't really need to get it. Like if you can like search like simple stuff online. It kind of the second game kind of explains what happened in the first game, but like simplified it in a way. So like you can get the second game and kind of know what happened in the first one, but not like a
Okay.
clear perspective on what exactly happened.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So, all right. Well, speaking of clear perspectives, um the Smash DLC. That was a horrible segue.
Oh god.
That was a horrible segue, but
That was a
um,
interesting transition.
there's only one DLC fighter left. Um, that's there, and a lot of people are wanting sort of a clear perspective. I guess that's the segue I was going for, but a lot of people are wanting different characters for the DLC. We just had Kayuza, or I forget how you pronounce it, the Tekken guy. We just had him
The
announced.
second
We had
guy.
Pyra and Mithra. We had who else in this DLC pack? I'm trying to remember. That's how forgetful this pack has been for me. Who else did we have in this pack? It was right after. We had Steve. We had Steve. I can't forget Steve. Can't forget.
Steve, Alex, Enderman.
Yes,
You know,
Enderman,
I accept
Zombie.
that.
Yeah, we had them. We had Min Min. And who was the other one? Oh, who was the other one? I'm.
Wait, that one spring girl,
That was Min Min. That was Min Min.
Amendment.
So we had Min Min. We had Steve. We had Kayuza. We had Pyra and Mithra. There was one other one that's. There was one other one. One other one has already been announced, and I'm totally blanking out on who it was.
Hold on. Min Min, Alex, and Steve, Sephiroth.
Sephiroth!
Yeah.
Sephiroth! I forget because Sephiroth was such a random drop. Like, for me, like, it felt so close to Steve that it just took me by surprise. But yeah, Sephiroth, thank you.
I just searched it up. I'm like, let's do that.
Yeah, that could help.
That could help.
And we'll talk about all the DLC fighters and fighters in Smash here in a little bit, but the last DLC fighter, Sakurai has said that it will be the last DLC fighter for Smash Ultimate. First off, do you believe that, or do you think there's going to be like some sort of secret final fighter they're like, oh, actually, we have one more announcement? Or do you think it's genuinely going to be the final, like, DLC character?
Well, they've worked on it for like a couple of years, like ever since the Switch came out. I kind of think it'll actually be like the last fighter, so they won't have to keep worrying about it every single Nintendo Direct. Like, keep adding and adding and adding. So
Okay.
it won't be overflowed with characters. Like, just a stable amount.
I mean, they already have, what, 81, 82 different characters?
Well, it's fine. Okay, they don't... Well, I don't think they'd want to add more to the other 80 that they were... Like, they gave.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Like...
You're not wrong!
Not wrong! I just don't add to the fire, okay? It's already burning. Don't add gasoline.
Well, if you think it's going to be the last one, then who do you think... Well, who do you want, first off, and then who do you think actually will make it?
Okay. I'm not sure on who will actually make it, because I'm not entirely sure on, like, a lot of characters, but...
Who do you want?
Okay, this one I want, and I know it's probably never gonna be in Smash. The Splatoon Octoling, like, oh my, I love that character so much. Like, please, I can't. It probably won't happen because they already have like a couple of Splatoon characters like in it, like the Inkling, obviously.
Well, isn't one of the Inkling like alts, like the Inkling costumes, an Octoling, or am I wrong with that?
I don't think so. I've looked at like all of them. Like they all look like they're from Splatoon 1. So like, I'm not sure. Cause I've looked at all of them, and like the only one like closest is like one of the story mode outfits.
Well, okay, yeah, I guess you're right. Like I just looked at it, and yeah, I guess you're right. Like that would be the case. So I mean, the only concern I have with Octoling is that it would be very much like an Echo Fighter. There's already a character very, very similar in there. I could see it as a Mii costume. I could see it as a Mii costume being added, like an Octoling hat or something. So, for me personally, I mean, my desire, I'm in the Waluigi for Smash.
I was about to say that. I was seriously about to say that.
Yeah, I'm in the Waluigi for Smash camp. My personal opinion is if they pull the whole psych, actually there's one more, I have a feeling it would be a Waluigi, pull out the rug from under you.
Assist trophy. So I'm not sure if that's actually...
Min Min was an assist. Min Min was a spirit. Min Min was a spirit. And basically broke that whole, like, even if they're an assist trophy, you can still make it in type thing, or if you were already a spirit, you can make it in. So, I mean, honestly, they could do whatever the heck they want at this point. They've broken all boundaries.
They've broken all of them.
I could see Crash make it in. they've done a lot of they've done a lot of more intricate fighting game style, like RPG characters. So I could see them pulling more from other types of games. Like Sephiroth was Final Fantasy. Um, Pyra and Mithra, Xenoblade Chronicles. They had, so those are like two major RPGs. Then you got a lot of the fighters from like Terry and from the first Fighters Pass, and then you've got obviously Kayuza from Tekken, and I'm probably gonna be like completely bombed on the internet for that pronunciation, but you
Cancelled.
yeah, I'm canceled. I'm canceled now. Oh no.
Coming for you.
Yeah, he cannot say the character's name exactly the way it's supposed to be pronounced. Anyway, but yeah, you've got a lot of those fighter characters. You've got Min Min from a fighting game. You've got, granted, it's more of a like a first person boxing style. It's not your true fighting game, but it's still a fighting game. Let's see here. So Terry, you have Byleth from another. What's it? Shoot. Byleth from. What's it? Fire Emblem. There we go. I totally blanked. I'm horrible.
I'm like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, Fire Emblem. Another Fire Emblem character. Because we need 5 million of those, apparently.
Makes sense.
But that's another RPG.
I mean, like, I could totally see Nintendo pulling, like, they're full of surprises, as you can tell. Like, I could totally see them pulling something that's absolutely unrelated and just put them in there. Just.
Yeah, I nobody expected Tekken. Nobody expected Sephiroth. Like, well, hardly anybody. There's apparently a few people who did. Pyra and Mithra was out of left field. Like, people were wanting Rex instead. It was just kind of like, all right, who's actually going to make it? I don't think anybody really knows. My hope, realistically, would be either Crash or Waluigi. Something a little bit more cartoonish. We've gotten a lot of serious characters in these DLC packs. I would like to see, something big to finish off the DLC pack instead of sort of a deflation of Byleth. Like,
you could see there's a bunch of like serious characters and then there's just Steve and Alex. Like literally just there.
that honestly, that's big Chad energy, just standing there like
Menacing.
Steve, Alex. Just that was pretty impressive though. I will give them credit where credit's due. That was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome when it actually happened. Like, I can't play him to save my life. Like, there's just way too much intricacies with Steve and Alex. I cannot.
I'm searching up Smash Bros. Characters and I just see Waluigi. I'm like, you wish.
Oh, can you imagine it? Like, Waluigi, take like a tennis racket and use his tennis racket as like his normal attacks, and then he pulls out like golf clubs and other like sporting things for
from the other games he's been in.
From other games for his smash attacks, and then his final smash be like, I don't know, his super smash, like his Mario Strikers attacks or something like that. I don't know.
I could totally see Waluigi just pulling up a rose for his idol.
Yo, like, I could see it being similar to, like, now that you mention that, I could see it being similar to, like, Peach and Daisy's Final Smash, where it puts the opponents to sleep, and then, like, it's a recovery move, a healing move with rose petals. Like,
I
I could
yeah,
see
a
it
little.
being something like that. I could totally see it being something like that, where it's like a unique new mechanic, unique to Waluigi. Oh, I could totally see that. Like
Why
half.
do I just why okay? Why do I just see like for this final smash just Waluigi and Wario just pulling up and just beating the crap out of them? I don't know. Just a random thought.
Just grabbing, just.
I mean, it would make sense though, kind of to a degree. It would.
Just take him and just start curb stomping him like maybe.
Yeah, that's the point. It's just like the Mii brawler, just.
Say it with me now.
That's great.
But oh my goodness, like Smash has gone on for how long? Like Sakurai said it's been like he's been in constant development of Smash for almost a decade. Like do you think there's
Yeah.
going to be another Smash game after Ultimate anytime soon?
Probably, because like, why would they just stop there? Like, they got the first, the second, third, fourth, etc. Why would they just stop at the Switch?
But that's the thing. When do you think there's going to be another console? Like, after the Switch, do you think there's going to be another console after the Switch? Or do you think that the Switch is going to be in constant development for a while?
I think it'll be in development for a while. Since how popular it got. Like, it would be on development for a while, but after a while, like when it gets slowly like less popular and less hyped up, I think they might drop another console. You know,
Okay. How long do you think
develop
that would be?
like, maybe at like, I'm gonna go like out and say like 2025 maybe.
Like years?
Like a couple, or like maybe like something as early as like 2
Oh,
years.
so like 20 years out, they're actually going to focus on like other like developing a new console. You think they're just going to revise the Switch or
I mean, here's a possibility. Oh my god, there's a possibility that there could be like multiple consoles, like maybe multiple, but I'm not sure if they would actually do that since it's twice the work
true?
for like.
Like different revisions of the Switch that like have different things going on with it or like
It's
something
kind of
entirely
like
new.
maybe like something like similar to like the Switch or like the actual Switch and the Lite, but there could be a possibility that it could actually like get revamped like completely, or
Okay.
just a whole new other console in a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean I could see it. I mean I would probably say no more than 10 years out personally before they start developing a new but before they release a new console. They probably start development before then. But I like the Switch, it feels like to me they're trying to combine the handheld and well, they are combining the handheld and the console market, so like they don't have to worry about development as long, but if they move away from the Switch too soon and they move to something entirely different, they would need to have that portable console and stationary thing going on in order for it to be worthwhile. Otherwise, they're going back to doing handhelds and consoles separately.
Well, okay. There could also be like, wait, no, I lost it. Wait, no. Okay. You know how like some GameCube games can like be transferred to the Wii?
Oh yeah, certain Wii's where you can put the disc in and whatnot, and you can play the
Yeah, like
GameCube
I
game.
can
Yeah.
kind of see it like that, but like with the Switch and the maybe possibly new console.
Okay, so maybe a backwards compatibility thing going on there. Okay.
Yeah, like some games, but like maybe not all of them, since like it would just be like the same thing but a different console.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, I could definitely see the backwards compatibility happening pretty easily, actually. Like, all they have to do is make sure there's a game card slot that they can pop in there with whatever new console it is. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think they've hit kind of a gold mine type thing, and they can kind of sit back a little bit. I know a lot of people expect Nintendo to have like these massive innovations and whatnot, but I don't think they really need to do much more tweaking. I think they've kind of found their market with the Switch. A lot of people are wanting to take their big games on the go, but also be able to play on TV. It's a great way to sort of connect everything together without having to worry about really too much else. They have all the peripherals for things like VR with the Nintendo Labo, and I mean that didn't really go much of anywhere. So that if they were to do anything, they would need to have some sort of like standalone headset. But otherwise, I think they've kind of got their market.
Well, okay. Do you think they'll ever fix like like okay, the Joy-Con drift? The Joy-Con drift.
Ooh,
My
yes.
only issue.
So
That I want that fixed. I want
honestly,
it.
honestly, I think it's one of those things where they'd have to really invest in better parts, and I think that comes at a higher cost. I don't think they will fix, quote unquote, fix the Joy-Con drift until a new edition of the console. If anything, what I think will happen is they'll find solutions like they kind of already have with like recalibrating the controller, and I put that in air quotes, where you can go into your Switch's settings and then adjust the drift from there, but that only is a temporary solution. Once you start playing with them enough again, then Joy-Con drift happens. So
I don't think you want to know how many games I've lost because of drift. It's painful. It's so painful.
I have had my Switch for 4 years, and I have yet to experience any major drift. I've had one Joy-Con start drifting on me last year, and all I had to do is recalibrate it, and it's not drifting anymore. It could be because I don't play it. Like, I don't play my Switch severely and a lot. I mostly play using my Pro Controller on the dock, but I still play a good portion with my Joy-Cons, and I haven't really experienced all that much drift.
Well, I kind of play it every day, so I get why I get drift. Well,
Where's your problem?
I have a big problem. There's a reason why I have 285 hours on Splatoon. Don't get me started.
Well, I mean, my biggest Switch game right now is Super Smash Bros. And I'm at 315 hours. Once you pass that, you got a problem.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Almost there.
Maybe what you should do is you should get, like, maybe you should give in to the trap that Nintendo wants you to and get a couple of additional pairs of Joy-Cons. And then just rotate the Joy-Cons that you use. Maybe giving the Joy-Cons a break, quote unquote, will extend the lifespan. I don't know.
I kind of want to get like a controller, like
the actual Pro controller.
Yeah.
Now, are you wanting to get like the Nintendo branded $70 all the bells and whistles Pro controller? Or are you wanting to get like, here's the skin and here's all the buttons that I need Pro controller?
A controller that works and I don't have to spend $700 on.
Fair enough.
Like, why would you buy a controller that costs more than the actual console?
Well, no,
like
obviously I mean, I don't think most people would go for a controller like that. That's mostly people who like want to complete a collection of stuff, I think. But I mean, I've got a $70 controller. Yeah, that's like a quarter of the console, but that's the Pro controller. That's the one that I use on streams. Right here. That's the one I've got. People who are watching this on the actual video on the YouTube side. by the way. Go watch us on the YouTube side, for those of you listening on the podcast. Watch us on the YouTube side on the Phamily on YouTube. You can watch this podcast at any time. It's just going to be my ugly mug, but you can watch that anytime. But
Ugly mug.
but
You're
yes,
really
the Pro Controller. You
like
found
instead
that.
of you just having to stare in the camera for like an hour.
That's
just
pretty much what this is turning out to be. But I mean, for those of you who want to watch, that's what it is. You can just set this down and listen to it. You don't have to watch it.
I mean, like, okay.
Enjoy the
'Cause
full
the
experience.
Because the Joy-Cons I have are like the gray ones, and then when I see people with different colored ones, I'm like, oh, I wish that were me.
Well, that's what I got when I got my Switch. I got the gray ones attached to it, and then what happened is I got Girl the green and pink ones, I believe is what it was, green and pink, and then she gave me the ones that came with her Switch, which are the red and the blue, and then I had the other. I had the opposite red and blue from a pack that I got. And so I had 2 matching blues, 2 matching reds, and 2 matching grays. The blues I wrapped in my Switch skin, which you don't normally see it on stream, so I'll show it to those who want to view. There you go. So it's got the channel logo on it. It's a little bit of a darker blue, but it's fully wrapped. And now it's telling me that it downloaded Sephiroth, but or not
What?
Sephiroth. Wow, I meant the Tekken person, Kayuza or whatever his face is. Anyway, but there's the skin. You can see the original color of the Joy-Con in there, the lighter blue, and then it's the darker blue with the wrap. But I have that, and then I've got this like neon red color, and then the gray. So I've got 3 sets of Joy-Cons that I rotate with.
The one pair of Joy-Cons I want are the green and pink ones.
Yeah.
All I want. That's all I want.
Girl has those on her Switch.
I'm jealous.
You can get them at GameStop sometimes. So you just have to.
I don't go to GameStop often. Or any gaming accessory store often. In general.
Just saying.
I know you're saying.
Yeah, just saying.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, I mean, I've got a Pro Controller that I use, and I like it a lot better than the Joy-Cons personally. I don't really deal with drift all that much with it. So. Well, I think that has made a very good first episode of Do Everything Wrong. Or do.
Is it already an hour?
It has not been an hour, but it has been 30 minutes, and I think it has come to its natural conclusion here. Thank you for joining us. Don't ask. I really appreciate it.
I'll be here. That's all.
But for all of you who are listening in, thank you so much for listening into this podcast. It's been a great time rambling, great time losing brain cells, talking a little bit about Nintendo, a little bit about Splatoon, a little bit about Joy-Cons, and a little bit about Smash. Hopefully you'll join us next time as we continue on. These episodes will be usually anywhere between half an hour and an hour. No guarantees on solid times for any of them. We just go until we feel like it. So thank you so much for listening in and enjoying this podcast. This will be uploaded on Spotify and on YouTube. So hopefully you'll all enjoy it. It'll stay on the YouTube side. For those of you listening on Spotify, it might only be on there temporarily. We'll see how things go. But for now, thank you so much for listening in, and take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.